Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, bringing you another important update on what seems like the fight of all fights when it comes to farming, food, and even scientific freedoms. Some of you already know when you hear that I must be talking about the 400 healthy ostriches located on a rural farm in Edgewood, BC, and their farmers who are doing everything they can to try to save them from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency's senseless plan to kill them, even though they have been healthy and asymptomatic from the avian flu for 180 days. Today, I bring you an interview with Katie Pasitny, the adult daughter of co-owner of the farm, Karen Esperson. She's been a spokesperson of sorts. She grew up with the birds and helped farm as well. And I also talked to her about what the farm's next steps will be should they lose this appeal, and whether or not those steps include further consideration of the United States health official, Robert Kennedy Jr., sending out not one, but now two letters calling on the Canadian government to stop this cull order. And in the second letter, which I've linked before, now basically saying, if you're still planning to kill these birds, you can hand them over to us and let us take over the science that the birds are in, which is using their antibody-rich, robust eggs for therapeutics. Now, we're going to speak with Katie Pasitny, and I also talked to her about more stuff that I know you'll be interested if you've been following this story and helping support its coverage at SaveTheOstriches.com. What was going through your head when you were feeling emotional during the hearing?
Right. Well, first of all, we know that this isn't a fight just for our farm anymore. This is a fight for all the agriculture sector in Canada. The stamping out policy and the eradication of our farms is something that's affecting all of us. It all started out with the ostriches, but when you sit in that courtroom and you feel that energy and you see all these judges walk in, you really become very quickly aware of, again, just what we're fighting for. We were very hopeful with the three judges that there wasn't just one. There was a lot of emotions because this has been a very long journey with a lot of people relying on us. We get calls from farmers all the time that are scared. Then we held hands, my mom and I, during our last portion while Omar talked. He did a very good job of closing. And I just really feel like there was a lot of support in that room. It was emotional, just that alone. And I was on my phone. One article was seeing me scroll through my phone, but we have such good support from people that know those affidavits in and out that were sending us portions of those affidavits, and we were sending it to Omar through the appeal. So we just had tons of support all the way through appeal, but it was very emotional, and we're just grounded in faith that the right thing is going to happen. Getting two letters from Secretary Kennedy stating that he sees the economic opportunity and the opportunity to protect animal and human welfare. And our Canadian government is kind of trying to, feels like, shield that from the world. This is something that could be an asset for so many millions of people. And it just doesn't make sense that we're being met with such resistance. This is the moment where we remember who truly holds the power, and it's us, the people. This is where a united country has the ability to change its future. This is where we stand united. This is where policy has to adapt. Science evolves, so does policy have to evolve. We have to be able to have a voice, a seat at the table, create the change that's going to benefit Canadians and our farmers, protect our farmers. Look at these organizations that have such flawed systems. Not saying that they don't hold an appropriate place within our country, but saying that we need to reorganize them, reorganize their focus, reorganize their design, and how do we help our Canadian farmers not attack them. RFK is on point about the shedding of the virus. We are a recovered flock. We offer so much more opportunity alive than we do slaughtered. That our science is being backed now by the U.S. government, saying they're offering all of their resources. That is massive. During the COVID-19 period, we heavily relied on their direction and collaboration. And now that we're not relying on them. And we're actually having the Secretary Kennedy, NIH, the FDA, Dr. Oz saying, hey, slow down. We are offering assistance in saving this farm so that we could save the research. And now that they don't have that willingness to cooperate with them, it's a little alarming and can only make you think, why? Why are we still rushing through a decision when we have 184-day healthy ostriches today?
And why are we doing that when we're supposed to be this elbows up economy that we heard about during the election from the Liberal government, when there is this opportunity with this antibody therapeutic research that clearly the Americans see and have taken interest? Now, you mentioned Dr. Oz, and for those who don't know, he's head of Medicare now for the U.S. And in case you missed it, he said, oh my gosh, get the ostriches on the ranch there. Now, a lot of people have said to me, well, why didn't they do that? And I know it's probably not an easy solution anyways, just because someone in America says bring the ostriches here. But what insight can you give us about why that didn't happen and whether or not that's still on the table?
So we're currently under quarantine still under Canadian law, being threatened 6 months in jail and a $200,000 fine just to test or treat one animal. So that goes up by per animal. 6 months in jail, 6 months in jail, 6 months in jail. It isn't that easy. We still have borders to cross. A big battle in the Court of Appeal was that trading partner policies. Now, again, that brings in the RFK letters. If our largest trading partner is saying stop and we want to work with you, why are we bringing in the trading partner policies? If we're bringing in zoning, which we got from the U.S. government, why are we bringing up the zoning? We haven't impacted trading at this point. We are still trading. So 184 days, healthy animals that have natural immunity and that they offer so much opportunity to the world. Why are we so just, we're just headstrong on killing these animals in this research? Having this opportunity, though, has been, it's been phenomenal. Dr. Oz, if there was a last resort, he's incredible. If Canada is seriously just going to forcefully keep going ahead with the fact that we need to kill them to survive, when even H5N1 through the CDC as of July 4th or 5th has been downgraded from an emergency. They've taken it off their emergencies watch. It's not important, that it's not important. It's important, but it's not something that's an emergency, I should say. So we have that. We have Donald Trump coming out with that big, beautiful bill, July 4th, protecting farmers and agriculture. How is Canada not following suit? And so if we are just so dedicated to slaughtering animals in Canada, and they're not going to let us be heard truthfully here and science be the lead forward, and it is the last opportunity, of course we're going to move those ostriches to the U.S. That's not what we want. We've been trying to work with the Canadian government since December of 2024. So if that's the opportunity, how would we say no? And what a kind offer for somebody to do seize the opportunity that we have.
Yeah, you would think Canada would seize it. Now, last question, and I hate to even ask this, but again, everybody wants to know. I saw in one of your posts, you even called it a last stand, the appeal for saving the ostriches. So what's next? I know we ended on your party agreeing to try to collaborate with the other party on coming up with an agreement on what costs would look like, and then that is supposed to be handed in early this week as people will be watching it. What can you tell us about when you think the outcome will come in, and also, what if it's not in your favor, or what if it's a split decision?
Well, when we'll cover a few things here. Yeah. So if it comes back, there was 3 judges. If it's a split decision, we have the opportunity of Supreme Court, Omar was saying. If we lost, then we've already filed for an extension of our emergency stay order. That emergency stay order will protect us as we try to find the next avenue, filing for Supreme Court. Supreme Court is not guaranteed. So I really just hope, I trust in our legal counsel so much. He's so brilliant that we are going to try really hard to come up with the best options that are going to keep these animals alive and restore justice in an eroded, and flawed organization and government system. When we speak with compassion, truth, and unwavering courage, we have the force that can restore justice, that protects life, and rewrite the story of our country. And I think if we just hold strong, we keep coming together and collaborate within our agricultural sector and the unity of the Canadian citizens, and we all want to see a different result, which results in science, innovation, and truth being heard, then we can restore that eroded trust. And the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, like I said, holds a very important place in Canada. But I just think that a 21-year-old policy that they've never looked back at, it's time. It's time that we look back at that policy and we see how it betters Canadians in our agricultural sector and our farmers across Canada.
Whew, what a whirlwind this story has been, and we are following it every step of the way. You can find and share our reports and support the costs involved in bringing them to you at savetheostriches.com.